Greetings, Earthlings, and today's video is all about the new eclipse cycle that we're coming into, which is the Pisces Virgo. We've already started with the door opening in Pisces, so we're shifting from the Libra Aries axis to the Virgo fate and Pisces destiny axis. So firstly, the sun's polar magnetic field reversal has occurred. So every 11 years, the sun is a shield. It's a disc, and every 11 years, it alternates polarity. So the last 11 years was a solar maximum, and that's why we had so much extensive heat and all that sort of thing like that. Now, when it flips, there's like a sort of like a rush of electromagnetic frequency changing. There's a heat that pushes forth as it's revolving and coming into its new position. Example, if this is the sun, it alternates like that, okay? So we've got a polarity and a polarity, and then it alternates. Now, the dipole flip occurred beginning in June to November, so it actually took 5 months for it to do this rotation. And the last solar cycle began flipping in June 2012 to July 2013, so it actually took 13 months to flip to the solar maximum. So we're in the solar minimum for the next 11 years, so it has a lot less activity. And the North Pole changed polarity from positive to negative, and the South Pole changed polarity from negative to positive. And it's safe to say that the last 11 years have been a major life transformation period. Solar maximum suggests maximum soul work, because soul and our soul experiences were at the maximum, okay? For the last 11 years, we were, as Earth, going through massive soul experiences. So, the interesting thing about this is that when the polarities actually change over, there has to be a different electromagnetic frequency upon our Earth, because we are interacting within a different polarity now. Understand? From the negativity. Now, and negativity means yin, and it doesn't mean bad. It means receiving. Now, I lost my page. No, I didn't. So, in the year 2025, we have 2 new moons in Virgo, the zodiacal house of Virgo. The first one is the period of the 23rd of August, and the second one is on September the 21st, with a partial solar eclipse. Okay. So Virgo is our significant house to pay attention to, because on March the 14th, we have a full moon total eclipse in Virgo, opening the doors of fate in this house, which is our south node. The house of Virgo is associated with Astrea, who was the last immortal to abandon Earth at the end of the Silver Age, when the gods went to Mount Olympus. Astrea, the celestial virgin, was the last of the immortals to live with humans during the Golden Age and Silver Age, ascending to heaven to build the House of Virgins, the constellation of Virgo. According to myth, Astrea will one day come back to Earth, bringing with her the return of the Golden Age, of which she was the ambassador. Demeter, the Greek goddess of the harvest and autumn, and Persephone, her daughter, queen of the underworld and goddess of spring, are both representatives of the House of Virgo. The House of Virgo is about workable solutions to improve broken systems, a practical approach to earthling life. The symbol of the woman holding grain. Think of separating wheat from the chaff. Also, think of the seed. I see the sign of Virgo when I see things in the is our earth field, the field of manifestation. It's mutable and changeable, and that is the mutable sign, Virgo. But so is the earth, mutable and changeable. And the work that goes into separating the wheat from the chaff, because there's no seed in the chaff. Oh, the seed is inside the chaff. That's what I meant to say. So imagine Virgo as the meadow here on Earth, and in this meadow are all these plants and flowers and herbs for healing. Mother Nature has her own organizational system, companion planting at its finest. So one way to really connect with the power of the zodiacal house of Virgo this cycle is companion planting. So your garden could be large or small, but you can learn about companion planting and you can start putting it into practice and maybe find ways to improve it. That's one thing. So it's all about nurturing ourselves, our plants, each other, this eclipse cycle. Plants are not only foods and medicines, they also connect us to the spiritual realm. Remember, the constellation of Virgo is over the node of fate, and this means predetermined things that are going to cross our path. It is fated, and at that moment, when something does cross your path, that's where your choice is. I can choose to accept or I can choose to deny. I can take it or I can look away. Whichever, the choice is mine, and it's interwoven into my story. You always have the power to say no. Now, the nodes of destiny are in Pisces, and that's the power of fate. That's our north node, and that's already begun. The door is already partially opened. We have access to true faith. By remaining humble, we can serve as an instrument of the divine cosmos, maintaining a pure heart free of toxicity. I've got here. It's still about our authenticity. That is what we've just been going through with the Aries, coming into our true self. And but the faith side of it, of course, is about spirituality. It's not the same as belief. It's about our spirituality is our consciousness, and I'll just carry on. If it's up to you, but if you wanted to get into psilocybin mushrooms, they're hallucinogenics and are always to be ingested in a very sacred manner. They are powerful healers and wondrous and make me walk on air with pure happiness. That's a story that I'll tell for another day. It's a long time ago. Best thing that happened to me. But a lot of people now are microdosing with psilocybin because the chemicals are natural. We only use nature. We never use a fake man-made thing. We only use natural. And the chemicals open our mind. So, some things about those mushrooms. No one becomes mushroom dependent. There is no addiction. And if you misuse them by taking them often, they'll just lose their effect. If you take too many at once, you can be sick. And if you do take too many at once, you can drink orange juice to deactivate the mushrooms. You only need like 3 max. And what I used to do is I would make a big soup of mushroom soup, and I would just chop up those 3 and add them into that soup. And then I had the soup, which I would store in the freezer. And then always very sacred before the experience. You know what I'm saying? You've got to create an environment within your mind that is pure. So I've got here, put yourself in a comfortable, safe environment to set the stage for a pleasant experience. You can have transcendental music without any lyrics. You bless your mushrooms. You only need 2 in a cup. Right. Another thing, it was so funny, when my first time when I tried these mushrooms, I had no idea. And so I had my notes with me because I was going to write all about it. I was like, oh, it's first time experiencing. I'm going to write it all down. What's happening, this, that, and all that stuff. Forget it. You can't. When you close your eyes, that's when you see the visions, and then it starts to become interactive. So microdosing mushrooms alleviates depression. And I also found out that you would have to ingest over 1 kilo of mushrooms in a sitting to actually overdose, and like that is a massive amount. Now, moving forward, continuing. Now, what I did find is the Virgo, which is about our fate. Because we're gonna heal our body and our mind, and also our spirit. And this is absolutely gorgeous for us. This cycle. And essential practices for preserving our essence. So think of essence. Essence is a spirit. It's actually our spiritual essence. You know, when somebody's passed away, you might get a smell, something familiar about a smell that reminds you of them, that is actually them near to us. And so there's a combination here between the essence that we are, our spiritual essence once we've passed on, and the essences that we're going to be using, which we get from Virgo. The earth field. Now, I have here essential practices for preserving our essence. Virgo fate eclipse cycle. The practice of stillness is essential for peace. And think of a still as well. You know a still? You can use it for making perfume. Safeguard what is sacred to you for self-protection. Not everything you discover on your journey is to be shared. Journal it though. If they are exposed prematurely, they can't blossom into ripe fruits. You know, when you're developing your fragrance, let's say, your theory. Now, value the significance of what is sacred to you, and your fruits cannot be discarded. Not everyone is on your wavelength. Not everyone can see with the same depth. The fruits of wisdom have the power to transform life, your life firstly, so value and safeguard your revelations to preserve them. Protect your vulnerabilities. Only share with those who are trustworthy, that you know with 100% proof. Otherwise, their intentions are to manipulate or sort of like put a toxin into your fragrance, your perfume, your scent, your essence. And that's how they get to exploit your emotional energy and weaken your resolve and drain you. It is essential to be selective about your most delicate moments. Trust those whose genuine interest is in aiding your growth. Your vulnerability is precious, and compassion for yourself is self-love. Ensure that you have the right support. Also, don't touch any alcohol. Like that 100% proof, like don't put alcohol into your body, because our soul, our spirit has an umbilical cord kind of idea. And if you look at a human umbilical cord, it goes through to the liver. And when we drink alcohol, that goes into the liver and disassociates our consciousness, our spirit. So we're going to keep ourselves very consciously aware, soul, spirit, and we avoid alcohol, because we're not distilling anyone else's energies. What we're doing is purifying our essence. Now I have more. Essence. So if you think about our body, inside us is actually two essences. We have our soul essence, which is our unique talents, our memories, our abilities, how our soul grows and develops embodied in our body. And we have our spirit essence, which is our flavoring. It's complete, it's perfected, it's its permanent condition, and it permeates. Now, perfume is a mixture of essential oils, aromatic compounds, fixatives, and solvents of substance that emit and diffuse a fragrant scent. Perfume comes from the Latin word perfumare, meaning to smoke through, which is like incense. It began in the Indus Valley through to Mesopotamia, Egypt, and ancient China. On the Indian subcontinent, the Indus Valley, 3,300 to 1,300 BC, there was an ancient perfumery factory housing 60 stills, mixing bowls, funnels, and perfume jars and oil containers found. On cuneiform tablets in the 2nd millennium BC, a woman named Taputi, love that name, perfume maker, distilled flowers, oil, and psychoactive muskrat root, which is also called sweet flag and sway, with various aromas, fruit peels, spices, flower petals, herbs, filtering them and putting them back in the still many times. For compounds to impart fragrance, it must be sufficiently volatile for transmission through the air. Fragrances only affect our sense of smell, and flavors, and flavors affect both taste and smell. So while we're on Earth, we're more of a flavor. Now, some stuff I have. The Hellenes, the Macedonians, the Mesopotamians extracted perfumes from flowers, woods, seeds, roots, saps, gums, resins. Saffron blended into wall plaster allowed walls to be fragrant for over 500 years. Can you imagine how beautiful it smelled to come into the room? Oils, salves, aromatic waters, and healing balms were made. The trail of scent left behind by a person wearing perfume was called a wake, like the trail left behind by the boat in the water. Perfume has 3 sets of notes, making it a harmonious scent. Harmonious accord. The notes unfold over time. The immediate impression is called the top note or the head tone, leading to the deeper mid-tones, which are the heart notes, and then the base notes is the body, the depth, the solidity of the perfume. The main theme is rich and lasting, upper, middle, and lower dantian. Essence. The head notes are like mint and lavender. The heart notes are like sandalwood, jasmine, seawater, cedar. And the base notes are like tobacco, musk, amber. Okay. I have more, and I'll just find it for us. So also during this phase of the Virgo Pisces eclipse season, I've got the word here, no compromise. Compromise is the quiet enemy. Now, it's compromising to your spirit to drink alcohol, okay? Oops, you guys are slipping away. Oops, I had it. Okay, let's fix it up a little bit. Push that like that, maybe that'll help. You're going backwards still, never mind. Now, compromise, the quiet enemy, say no. And the story that comes to mind is about Samson and Delilah. Now, Samson was a Nazarene, just like Jesus, but he was in the period before. And remembering the Philistines, they're the Greeks. So, Samson, the Nazarene, fell in love with Delilah, the Greek girl. And he wasn't supposed to get involved in marriage and things like this. So, but he was tempted, and that is the temptation. The temptation is that you want to compromise your own integrity. So his secret was in his long hair. And Delilah was always like, Samson, tell me your secret about your strength. And first Samson kept it to himself, and she was like, please tell me. So he compromised his integrity by telling her his secret, and she didn't even love him. And the story of Samson, you should look it up in the Bible, is a tragedy. They cut off his hair, they blinded him, they put him in jail, and Delilah never loved him. He was blind for the rest of his life from having his hair cut off. Now, I have written here a little bit about compromise, seemingly wrapped in small, harmless choices. The forces of darkness plot their cunning plan. They need you to lower your guard just a little, compromising in just the smallest way. Small compromises lead to monumental destruction. Now, I do have lastly about, so we protect, this is what we're doing. We protect our peace, that's our ego, solar plexus, mind, the brain part. We protect our divinity, that is our heart chakra, our inner star child, and that's our radiance. We protect our spirit, that is our essence, and also our sensations, our consciousness. So I think I've been clear on that. And we protect our light. Our light is our soul and the shine. Okay, so consciousness, spiritual essence, lingering sensations. Fragrances is one of the most effective means of altering consciousness, facilitating spiritual contact in meditation. Fragrances alter the vibrational rate of the environment and individuals according to their unique properties. And of course, you notice that when you put on a beautiful perfume and you walk into, say, like the restaurant, and as you waft past, people are like, that smells delicious. That's what we're talking about. And I might be inspired to talk to you and say things like, oh my gosh, what's that perfume you're wearing? You understand? Okay. Fragrances enhance our inner perception of spirits around us. Now, carnation is used to prevent encounters with ghosts. Frankincense has a high vibration and prevents intrusion by low-level spirits. Gardenia stimulates telepathy with the spiritual realm. Lavender stimulates higher vision to see ghosts and spirits in our presence. Lilac stimulates clairvoyance, helping stimulate physical vision of the spiritual realm. Rose for psychic ability and divination. Wisteria, creative inspiration. Violet, the flower of the fairy queen, awakens our third eye. Rosemary, the herb of the elven kingdom, protection. Sandalwood, jasmine, saffron melds with our body's unique chemistry. Sandalwood, jasmine, saffron. There was another one, wasn't there? Are fragrances that we can put into. Cedar is the other one. That we can infuse into our walls, into our body, into our living space, and it penetrates. Okay, so imagine these powers that flowers have, and for the cycle of the eclipse season, Virgo, Pisces, we are doing a physical thing by interacting with the flowers and the herbs and the plants and things like this. And we are doing a spiritual thing by activating a more sensory stimulated environment for our spirit to reside in, to live in. That includes our body. Okay, so it's extremely interactive, this cycle that we're going into. Now, I remember that I told you there are 2 Virgo new moons, so our focus in 2025 is on the earth field, the field of flowers. And in that field there are trees, it's an open field, but with trees bordering or bounding in the boundaries. So think of your companion planting, think of your companion combinings that you're going to combine. And it's all about faith, the Pisces house, and faith is also our shield. So faith is like a big shield. So in another sense, I'm getting that our essence, we can create a shield with fragrances that also is like a form of protection. Okay, now that's what I've got for the Virgo Pisces eclipse cycle. And I have one more thing that I will be sharing with you next, and that is the story of the Bar tribe and the serpentine. It goes right through. It's the Milky Way, pretty much, and it's about our star home and about all the stories about these people and lots of things that I'm discovering about spiritual stuff and our star home, our star mansion, our star village. Okay, so I am sending much love, and I'm hoping that I'm not the only one working with these energies. Of course I'm not. I know that others of you will intuitively feel that this is the correct way to go, to follow the cosmos. And I will talk again soon. I am sending you love. I am sending love, especially to all areas that there is suffering, whether that's a one person or whether that's a entire land. I am expanding my love out to them all, and it doesn't drain you. When your cup is overflowing, you have enough to give. Okay, that's the end of the story for today. I'm sending you all my love, and kakite, which means stay strong. Okay, kakite.